I'm live. I might as well just press play. And it's working. Yay! Okay. So much to talk about. I said earlier that I'm going to talk about these dreams and these attacks and things that I've been getting throughout my life. I'm 42 years young. And I had one yesterday. I went to bed quite a bit earlier. I absolutely get exhausted. So, right. My first experience of sleep paralysis, I lived in the flat that I do now. My mum was visiting me from Turkey. I think my son must have been with his dad that night. Me and my mum shared the bed. It was a 2-bedroom flat, but it was a double bed. I went to bed first, and she had one side, whatever. Point is, I was asleep and then I woke up. So I have to go through this calmly and get the experience back in, right? Because it's not like, oh, wake up and I'm going to go into detail. Because when I'm regressing as well, because I haven't done this for ages, I will probably remember things. So yeah, I remember lying in bed and with my mum, and I woke up and I remember looking towards the door, and I got a feeling of something, a presence there, but there was more going on. Well, the fact is that I just couldn't move my body and I couldn't speak. And that in itself is scary. Now, there is, we have a protection, they say, that, if you wake up and the body does this on purpose to allow you to wake up properly or whatever, But when you've got something like sucking on your energy, right, and you've got this black figure and I know that we create our own things. I know that when you get in the land of thought, mind, if not controlled, our thought forms are so powerful. It is an entity in itself, and we can create, right, literally entities, from our own thought forms, from our own thoughts. That's why it's so, sorry, I go off on tangents, important. We really have to, and really ingrain in ourselves that we have to take responsibility for our thoughts. That's why in Buddhism they have right thought, right action, go and look it up, and take control of our minds. And it is hard work. It is, then you get lost, you forget yourself, you get in character and you forget yourself, that you are not that, But my point is that if the mind becomes so unchecked and you are not really conscious, then, occupy your mind. You can create thought forms that basically are living entities of their own, and, obsessive thought. I mean, think of thoughts. Your thoughts create. I want to just slow down. There was a point. There was something. Sorry, guys. I'm getting used to talking. So the reason why I'm going a bit more into detail about that, and I'm not projecting on anyone because I can only talk from my experience. I'm going to talk about things that I can relate to, not as just relation, but that actually have happened to me. And if I'm talking about something that that hasn't, I will say it. Okay? Right. So, I mean, the mind has always fascinated me, even since I was young, and the reason why I got that was because of, I don't like to say depression, right? Depressed. And I don't actually remember being like really sad. It was just like teenage stuff, I was emotional, I was an empathic, psychic girl, not understanding what was going on, and I wanted to understand my mind. I wanted to take control of it. Right, oh yeah, this is gone. When I was at school, I think I was about 13, 14. You have crushes on people. I went to a private school, but I had quite a good social life, and my brother went to Epsom College, shouldn't be saying all this stuff, And our social life, because we had a neighbourhood and some of the kids would live around the block, they'd be, and all the kids from the schools would come to our area, so it was good. I got a crush on a guy, Johnny Dawson Ellis, Oh, bless him, he's a lovely guy. I let him down, actually. I didn't mean to do it. I just got the wrong day. He's a beautiful fellow. He got paralysed. He was in a bike accident, my friend Johnny, and he's been living like that. And he's an inspiration, but I'll mention him another time. Anyway, shout out to Johnny. He's gorgeous. And I had a crush on him, and I was obsessively thinking about him in chemistry. And I'm thinking that I'm getting annoyed with myself. I don't want to think about this. And this kept happening over a few weeks. And I remember the day I sat in biology and it was going through my head, all this obsessive stuff. And I went, Melissa, you got to stop, all right? It's not good for you. I'm giving myself a little pep talk while the class is going on. Stop it, okay? You've got to stop thinking like that. Just let it go. And I did. And it was so freeing. I did it. It was my choice. And I'd got so fed up of it all, and I'd learned as much as I can from that thing. It was time to move on, and that was that, right? Okay, first I'm going to tell you, right, if you're going to get to know me, I am one of these people who've committed spiritual crime, in the sense of, I'm one of these people that know what to do, but don't do it. I'll repeat the same cycle knowing exactly what I'm doing because I'm enjoying myself. Anyway, yeah, I've got this. If the feed's on, then maybe you could help me remember what point I was getting to. Yeah, so the mind. So, like, even as a young child, I knew I had always a feeling of God around me, always. And I would talk to God. But it wasn't like a Jesus in a religious sense, because my mum and dad weren't religious. They let us choose. Even though my mum is from a Roman Catholic family, her dad was a priest who left the priesthood anyway. And my dad came from a Muslim country, Turkey. But they're not religious. My dad's more English than the English. And my mum's more Turkish than the Turkish. They're a funny pair. They're still together. And so, yeah, I always had that naturally within me, always very, like a frog died and I buried it, and then I went back, a few weeks later and dug it up, and I'm like, the bones, and I'm like, Mum, where's it gone? And she's going, it's gone to, like, I don't think she said heaven, but the body's like deteriorated, and that's it. I'm like, where has it gone? I don't think she actually gave me an answer. I always, was searching for myself. And I would never get stuck in any kind of dogma, I hope. Maybe, because, if you just want truth, you have to keep an open mind. And I'm not going to have anything to stop me from getting... So I can let go of something like that and pick up something else. Do you see what I'm saying? Because even if I really love that thing, but it's not the truth, I'm not going to defend it. It's not the truth. Let it go. Whatever. My ego does not get stuck in all that bullshit. I just want the truth. I searched for myself and I found God. I searched for God and I found myself. I love that one. Look, this is how silly I am. There's a thing here, right? But I've cut that bit. So I'm in my world of my own and I'm not looking properly because I'm focusing on this. Anyway, right. I didn't realise it was going to be like this but we'll go with the flow. Ooh, filters. Let's have a filter. Sorry. Be a bit vain. Anyway. No, black and white's not good. Oh yeah, that map, by the way, is because I want to talk about this pole shift. I don't know, guys, I don't normally get stuck on dates and all this sort of stuff, but this pole shift, yeah, it's real. That's why I'm getting a camper van. Right. So, looking for God, obviously went to Christianity. I'd go down my local church and sit and drive the priest mad and ask him lots of questions. I never got into Muslim. I never did the Muslim thing. I actually detested it. I didn't like, even though it wasn't in my family. I just didn't like that sort of, you know what I'm saying, covering up and all that. My Turkish grandmother, when she came over from Turkey, she would have a little tin and herbs inside it. She was a smudger. Now, no one flipping explained to me and my family, because what she'd do, she'd heat it up on the stove and it would be loads of smoke, not just like in a little incense stick, and she'd be going all over the house, right, just how we do it, put it on the floor, and then she'd make all of us jump over it. Now, I would refuse to do it because I thought it was a Muslim thing. But later on, as I know, through my own stuff, my grandmother was a smudger. She was actually the woman that pulled my mum aside when I was like 2 or 3 years old and says, "You want to watch Melissa?" She's a bit, different. Not, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. She's a bit more sensitive. You gotta just be more, just watch her more. Be more careful because she can go, okay? Because if you're like me, you know how feral we can get. You know how it's hard being in this world sometimes. So dense. We're like dreamers, like complete dreamers. We are our own people. We walk to our own beat. We are here and ready to defend. We don't like injustices. We are fair. We know the meaning of fair. We come across as arrogant and snobbish maybe, but we're not. We are really humble inside. Yeah, we have our moments, but truly humble. My one wish for the world, or my one wish for me, would not be for me, but it would be for me, because it would be for everybody. And it's not like this world peace. No, because maybe this world is not meant to be what we have been thinking or hoping. You see, as we know, we live in a duality. If we didn't have one without the other, then we wouldn't know the other. We need them both, but it's not to get stuck in the game of duality, is it? You don't want to get stuck in the game of it. I'm right, you're wrong. Actually, black, white, hot, cold, same but different. That's a travelling saying. Same but different. Middle path. Buddhism, that was the last religion I got to, obviously, Buddhism. Cause and effect. It helped me understand how my mind worked. It made me realise truly that I wasn't my mind and that I could take control of it, and that, it is like, bosh, life is suffering. That's what Buddhism, that's what it is. Life is suffering. We suffer in life, but there is a cause, there's a reason why we suffer. And there's an effect. Life is suffering, there's a cause to suffering. What is it? Life is suffering, there's a cause to suffering, and then there is a solution. I think I'm a bit rusty. So yeah, life is suffering, can be. But there's a reason why. And why do we suffer? It's because we are not present or happy in this moment. We're suffering because we want to, worrying about the future, thinking about the past. They don't exist, but they do exist all together in one thing. What we do is we forget. We Forget that we are not our minds. We are this character we play. And we identify with things. Identifying with the character. Hold on. I suffered because I didn't want to be in the present moment. I didn't want to feel how I felt in that moment. That is why I applied myself with drugs. Because the moment I touched heroin, it was like, where have you been all my life? The feeling I had in my body, it took away. The feeling I had in my body was anxiousness. It was coming from here also. But the two, you can't starve yourself. Your body needs nourishment. And in actual fact, a lot of the problems of the world would be sorted if we just sorted out our eating habits properly. And a big shout out to Ian. If we really took a look at all the products that we bring into our homes. That would just be like the obvious thing to do. I know I've gone right off on a tangent, but anyway, yeah. So let's just get into the sleep paralysis thing, because I want to do one, because I haven't put it on live, I've put it on pre-recorded. So I was talking about the mind and the entity things and all that. But you know, we could go there all day. We could look at everything in all different. We could look at this in a different angle. We could say that I am myself, that entity that, you know, was sucking on myself because I created it through a thought form of the trauma and the obsessed thing, blah, blah, blah. But we're not going to go there. I'm just going to talk about the experience itself. So I'm lying in the bed. My mum's there, fast asleep. And I remember looking over there and I couldn't move. And I couldn't speak. Okay? There was no pressure on my chest or anything yet. The room was dark, and there are patches that are blacker than black. But it wasn't like a full, you know, I couldn't see like a man of a figure, but there were just patches of black. I have seen the ones where they're like slithers. They're like, they are all on the ceiling, and they're like slithery black things. It's like slugs going in and out. It's horrible, but yeah. They weren't there. The scariest thing was the fact that I knew my mum was right there and I couldn't move, and I could feel this. There was no suction on this. This is the first one. It was just like, it was like, yeah, first sleep paralysis. Here's the welcome, you know, your introduction. It was kind of like that in the sense of there's nothing more to report than I noticing the dark figure blackness, feeling really like something was there, something was not, something was definitely there, and the fact that I couldn't speak, and I wanted to so much. I was frightened. You can't, and you can't move, and your mum's there, and you think you're gonna die, but then it just, I don't know what happens. You just snap out of it, I suppose. I can't remember. But I do remember waking my mum up as soon as I could move. So, and I told her about it. After that, it happened a few more times. Then it didn't happen for years. Just other things, different things. And it happened again. About 6 o'clock, England, UK. I turned over. And I was really tired, you know, and I've been lethargic because I've actually been detoxing my body. And lying on my side, I'm drifting off, and this time there was some kind of weird figure. Because I was turned, he was behind me. It's a he behind me, but it was like a darkness. It's like a big darkness, and then I could feel the pressure. There's like a pressure coming out of my chest, of like literally, and it sort of works its way up in your head, and it's like taking, I don't know if it's taking energy, but it feels like it's sucking something out of you. and you feel really heavy here. And my face, I was really trying to scream. I not scream. I was really trying to speak. Like, I really was trying my hardest, but I couldn't. So I remember thinking to myself, I just got to go through this. But I just remember the suction, like the feeling of it, something being sucked. And then I suppose I remember, I'm trying to remember, because I'm lazy, I should write it down. Something in my head, not in my head, but it's just like this thing that came around, and then it sucks. Anyway, I must have fallen, I must have drifted off. And it's funny because when I woke up, I completely forgot. And if it wasn't me watching that, finding that brother's video, I would have not have remembered and been doing this, because I have to do this. It's silly because I already know in a kind of way what this is. But, you know, anyone out there that can give me some more input, because I'm going to talk about the other thing where I literally spoke to an entity that I didn't see, but I thought it was my friend, well, my boyfriend at the time, but it wasn't. It was something else, pretending to be it, or maybe it wasn't pretending. Maybe I just thought it was. It was just so freaky. And then that night, I had it was like a proper dream. It was like I went straight into a dreamy kind of thing. I'm running towards the policemen, 3 policemen. Help, help, help. And I don't know what I'm running from. And I'm going, I really need your help. And then the policeman just turned, like, properly shape-shifted into these creatures, grabbed me, and I woke up. But I remember him grabbing hold of me. And then there's been other ones with succubuses, like creatures that are just so fucking ugly, like black mouths, like round mouths. I've had so many things, actually, when I think about it. There's always they're sexual. It's not like, it's they want, it's the sex they want, you know? Well, they would try if they could. They never get a chance. I have actually always got away. So anyway, yeah, that sleep paralysis, the last sleep paralysis, that was one with the thing. It'd be better to draw it, actually. That would be a good idea. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And yeah, hopefully we can do some more of this. I love you. I love you all. Thanks, guys. Take care. And hopefully I can switch it off. Yeah, how do I switch it off?